This brand new basketball hoop is a brilliant invention despite its extreme weirdness. These are some of the most innovative basketball ideas, including an incredible LED basketball court, a futuristic NBA uniform, and a shooting robot. This weekend in Madrid, during the FIBA competition, a brand new LED basketball court that may represent the courts of the future for the NBA made its debut. Aside from showing real-time player statistics and rotating sponsors throughout the game, this court is completely customizable. This court's appearance has existed before. The House of Mamba with these LED courts was a Nike Rise design from 8 years ago in 2014. I'd never seen anything like this before, but in 2016, the B-League really utilized these kinds of courts when playing games. I won't deny this might be quite distracting while playing games. The only time I can see this being truly cool is before the game, so I hope they don't have any insane things going on while guys are shooting at the free throw line or anything else like that. This may add a really cool visual aspect to the pre-game rituals when they do those game openers with a cool movie and the lights go out. Although I could see them using a court like this for an event like the All-Star Game, where it's a bit more unconventional and upscale. I don't think they'll actually implement this anytime soon. However, it's a really cool feature that, if used correctly, I think this could be pretty sick. I think my current top pick for a basketball invention is the following one. This right here is a mini hoop that can be placed anywhere and is portable enough to fit in a backpack. You frequently see people using it at the beach to play basketball in the sand. This is an excellent technique to slam hoops anywhere you are, including in your backyard on the grass. However, if you can take care of it, I bet this investment is worth it and a lot of fun. If you want to save $50, I found a knockoff version on Amazon that honestly looks the same, just minus the U-ball. I'll have a link to it in the description if you want to buy that. Currently, it costs $250 for one hoop and $450 for the full court set, which is a little steep pricing-wise. A smart basketball might be what you need if you're trying to improve your shooting or you just want to keep track of how you're doing. If you're like me, you probably haven't heard of such a thing, but it turns out this device is very fascinating. Several businesses are already producing smart basketballs, but the idea is that sensors that can measure your statistics are placed underneath the leather of the ball. You can now find out what your actual three-point shooting percentage is by entering the speed, the arc, the distance, and whether the shot was successful or unsuccessful into an app on your phone. For me, this means that my percentage is likely to be significantly lower than I actually believe it to be, along with the moniker "sick shot." Since this is really cutting-edge technology, it doesn't seem too unjust that IQ is charging roughly $140 for the ball plus the app bundle. In fact, they've been working on this ball using a 9D sensor and AI algorithms to provide you with feedback on your shooting. I believe that every basketball team and personal trainer should look into this. A smart basketball can make it simple to determine a player's strengths and weaknesses on the court. I firmly believe Ben Simmons should purchase one of these. In fact, I wager that supporters would be prepared to contribute funds only to witness him make another three-pointer. We have smart jerseys at position 7, and the one you're looking at right now is real, not fake. Now it's really cool. Adam Silver introduced smart jerseys a few years ago. These are truly pretty bizarre shirts because they allow you to change the name and number on the back of the jersey with an electronic device. I don't know why any player would want to wear one of them, but I suppose I could switch my jersey to support the Warriors if my team, the Trailblazers, starts losing games. We don't yet know when this will be made available to the general public, but I would wager that it will be rather pricey at that point. We have an electric ball pump in position 6. Please don't skip over this one since it's genuinely clutch, even though you definitely want to. Every hooper needs to get one of these, in my opinion. That is awesome. Take a look at how swiftly it's pumping. The fact is, playing with the flat ball is the absolute worst. Hence, every basketball player needs a pump in their equipment bag. I always carry a basketball pump in my bag because I don't even want to play with a flat ball. However, I always break the needle on the hand pump, which I detest because it sometimes causes the needle to get stuck in the ball. For this reason, I believe the electric ball pump is very useful because it doesn't take long to inflate the balls. On the other hand, I detest it when people overpump their basketballs and they're far too bouncy. Therefore, this ball pump actually shows you the correct PSI, which is essentially the pressure of air within the ball, and it correctly fills it up to the actual standards of basketball so that it bounces nicely. These range in price from $20 to $50, but they are absolutely worth the money, and we'll have links in the description right away. The next 5 are even more bizarre, although at number 5 we do have a Shark Tank featured product. When you look closely, you'll see that the grind machine is actually incredibly portable and much easier to carry around than one of the conventional ones you've used in the past. At first glance, you might think it's just a typical shooting machine. Additionally, what sets this one apart is the fact that it is one of the most reasonably priced shooting machines I've ever seen. They go for $2,150 on Shark Tank. If you walk around and look at one of those very costly ones, they can go for anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000 now. At the time, they were just $1,500, so they've increased with time. Yes, an NBA team might purchase one of those, but the average Joe can purchase one much more affordably. If you can afford it, the boost hoop allows you to complete all of your shots much more quickly when you're shooting by yourself, but if you're a robot, you still can't afford it. Try to find a far more affordable solution to this problem. This is excellent for young children who are just starting out in basketball. A benefit for young children working on their form and striving to shoot better today is that players utilizing this extended rim will have to shoot higher in order for the ball to enter the hoop, according to the designer. The player that is actually a robot that never misses a shot, therefore they most definitely don't need a boost hoop. Toyota developed this robot, which has cameras and sensors. They developed this basketball-playing robot, but it wasn't powerful enough to make any shots. The AI can now dribble and take shots from additional locations, including the half court, thanks to recent adjustments. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I believe this will be the world's finest shooter once it's completely developed. Yes, even better than Steph Curry. To assume that we have to create a robot in order to be fair is absurd. Even if it takes a while to shoot the ball, in some far-off universe, this thing will make free throws faster than Giannis. I could envision this robot being developed to serve in some capacity as a defender during player protection drills. The reason I think of this is because there was a company that used one of those defensive player stands and attached it to a moving robot that would play basketball on the court. They used this to act as a defender against the kids during a training camp, and I believe that this robot basketball player may eventually develop into something similar. Just keep your fingers crossed that the robot doesn't accidentally run into one of the players and severely hurt them. Alternatively, imagine if this basketball robot could retrieve your rebounds and pass the ball to you. That would be really great. And it's around 6 feet 10 inches tall. He should, in my opinion, put an end to his antics and sign a 10-day contract with the Lakers. It's totally absurd that they invented basketball. Although all of us are accustomed to standard basketball nets, one company rethought what a basketball net may be. But before that, this company created a very clever gadget for all the hoops out there without nets by using a standard net. If you have ever hooped in a space without a net, you know how dreadful it is. These magnetic nets might permanently remedy this, even if you're not sure if you just airballed it or just made your shot. Any hoop will work as long as you simply throw the net onto it to solve the issue. My only issue with this is that it adds a tiny bit to the top of the rim, making it slightly taller than it should be. Fortunately, there is a company called Infinite that came up with an even better solution, allowing you to have a rim with a net wherever you are, and it only costs $60. The Infinite is now your standard orange rim with strange blue spiky stuff. Though this seems quite strange at first, it could eventually replace the nets. However, you might be thinking, why on earth would I need something like this? Well, if you've ever played basketball in a park or outside, You know that these nets frequently just get some wear and tear from the weather, like the wind and the rain, and they often just completely wear out. When the net is just dangling there, barely hanging on by a thread, it's almost like playing with no net at all. Fortunately, Infinits has fixed this entirely by providing you with a lifetime net. However, a lot of people have serious doubts about this net and don't think it would function normally because the spikes, or what are called fins, are positioned very high, giving the impression that the ball would shoot straight back out. When someone brought up this in a comment, they said, "It's impossible for our fins to rebound the ball back out. The reason they're set so high is to reduce the vandal risk of people trying to grab or swing on them." I could definitely see outdoor hoops for basketball using this new net to eliminate the need for them to ever again set up their nets and to avoid having to use rims without nets. The only drawback I can see to this is that it doesn't produce the satisfying sound of the ball swooshing through the hoop. YouTube guarantees you'll love this video next, so stop wasting time. This video's over, click it.